Have you ever bought a food item and looked at the ingredients list and realized that it consists of nothing you believe it should be made of? For instance, you need something for your tacos. You get guacamole, but then you read the ingredients list and see that it's made of only 1.5% avocado. Then another time, you need something for your pancakes. So maple syrup, right? You choose the one that says no high fructose corn syrup on, so it has to be maple syrup. But no, it consists of just good old regular corn syrup. But the 100% orange juice you bought has to be just pressed and bottled oranges, right? Nope. Due to the long storage time during logistics, the juice has to be highly processed, which kills the taste. So they chemically alter the orange peels and add it to the juice to bring back the flavor. Since the chemicals in the flavor packs are made of orange peels, they can still claim 100% orange. How about some hot dogs? They have to just be meat and spices. Nope. Some meat, but also wheat flour, cornstarch, food additives, soy protein, and sugar. The list goes on, and now I'm only mentioning samples where they are honest with their shenanigans. There are huge problems where honey imported from China is illegally cut out with corn syrup, and the Italian mafia has been tampering with the olive oil supply, mixing it with cheaper seed oils to increase their profits. But why is this bad? As long as it tastes the same, what is the harm? In 2019, a study was conducted where people could eat as much as they wanted. One group could only pick processed foods, while the other could only pick non-processed foods. In just 2 weeks, the clean eating group lost 1 kilogram, while the processed food group gained 1 kilogram, even though they were allowed to eat as much as they wanted. Then, to completely rule out that the people in the groups were genetically different, the food that they ate was swapped, and the exact same thing was observed. The processed food group now gained 1 kilogram, and the non-processed group lost 1 kilogram. So for some reason, processed foods aren't as satiating as non-processed foods. One clear way of noticing this is if you ever had a vegan substitute for meat. You'll get hungry again just an hour later, which do not happen when you eat real meat. These vegan meat substitutes are a total frankenfood creation. Yes, they are made of vegetable, which can at first glance sound healthy, but these vegetables has been processed to the point where much of the known micronutrients are gone. For instance, Beyond Meat is made out of peas, but they don't use whole peas, they use so-called pea protein isolate, meaning that they only use the proteins in the pea rather than the fibers, vitamins, minerals, etc. And most other filling agents in vegan substitutes are seed oils, emulsifiers, and starches. The emulsifiers messes with your gut ecosystem, which causes inflammation. And you should avoid seed oils like the plague. In addition to this, we can only discuss the 150 nutrients that we are aware of, like proteins, fats, carbs, vitamins, minerals. But there are in the order of 26,000 biochemicals present in foods that we eat, which most of them we have no idea what they are doing and how they affect our body. Like a hot topic in the anti-aging field is polyphenols found in vegetables. They stress our body in a good way, making it rebuild itself stronger in a similar way that exercise does. We simply have no idea what happens to all of these unknown and possibly vital elements when the food is highly processed. An interesting hypothesis is, what if the cause of obesity is not that fat people are hungry, but rather that fat people are starving of vital micronutrients that has been depleted from the processed foods? And the body wants to correct this by eating more, but to do this, they have to eat an excess amount of calories, which makes them fat. This will explain why obesity was so rare before processed foods were a thing. And it will also explain why people who cut out processed foods spontaneously lose weight without having to count calories or be hungry. A recent observation that I made was when I replaced the minced meat from beef to game meat, which is one of the most nutrient-dense foods. The satiation was unbelievably high. This reminds me of that 40% of Americans are not even meeting their daily protein recommendations. If you didn't know, protein is one of the most satiating foods. So there's definitely some truth to this theory. But if processed foods makes us fat and sick, why are we eating them? Today, inflation is a huge problem, making every food item you buy more and more expensive. Another common thing is shrinkflation, where the price stays the same, but the size of the food decreases. But a much more subtle way of robbing you of value is, and I will have to make up a word for it, scamflation, which is when food companies mix in less of the actual product and substitute it with cheaper ingredients. It still looks and sometimes tastes the same, but the food item is now depleted of nutrients, and those are substituted with cheap sugars, starches, and seed oils. Since it's very hard to scientifically prove that this ingredient is more harmful or healthy than the other, the food engineers can keep on reducing the cost by scamflating the products. So I would say that this is the main reason why we are fat and sick. But what is the solution? Well, it's really simple. You stop giving companies that make processed food money, and you give your money to companies and individuals that make whole foods. When you buy something in the store, look at the item with the shortest ingredients list and the least amount of additives. By doing this, companies that sell processed foods will go bankrupt, and entities that make whole foods will be able to scale their manufacturing, which will decrease the price. It is not my intention with this video to give you an eating disorder. Don't be afraid to sometimes eat slop just for fun. But don't make it a habit, because this will over time deteriorate your health. Hey, like and subscribe if you want to learn more things you do not hear anywhere else.